Now we're cooking. I'm Jonathan Coachman. This is Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, running back Dalvin Cook. He's back and coming off a big game a weekend ago, as it'll be the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Atlanta Falcons. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Atlanta Falcons. Hello again, everyone. Brandon Godden along with Charles Davis. And, Charles, we take a look at this Falcons team as they enter play. They come in 0-3 and in desperate need of a win.
And as a team, you start to feel a little bit snake bit. They need something good to happen right now so they know it's not just them. They think they have the makings of a good team.
Meanwhile, for the Bengals here, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Here's the kicker, Jake Elliott, ready to get this one started. Two teams more than ready to get this one started. Here's Dante Pettis on the return. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll have Matt Ryan calling the shots, the former MVP and third overall pick.
And it's funny how we always talk about how analytics are starting to creep into the game. One analytic that's been there for a long time, teams that start 0-3 usually don't make the playoffs. So we know one quarterback today that's determined to end that slide right now. It's not impossible, but this is a must-win for him and his team.
Now a play fake here on first down. And escapes the sack, but he can't get away forever, and down he goes. Derek Barnett in there to sack him for a loss of 6.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
Here's Ryan. He sets to fire deep. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third. Here now the offensive starters for Atlanta.
Let's focus outside on Demaryius Thomas. His numbers were down slightly last year. First time in the last 5 years he didn't top 1,000 yards. But this guy's been to 5 Pro Bowls. And when I think about the evolution of his career, from his time at Georgia Tech where they were running an option offense and he didn't catch much more than bombs, to now being a complete receiver.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the Bengals will take over here first and 10. Here come the Bengals now to take over. Leading them out is the Austin, Texas native at quarterback. It's Baker Mayfield.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some, they threw it accurately. 1 touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
And it's a welcome back to health for last year's #1 pick. This is Dalvin Cook, and he's got it up over the 40 to the 41. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
All right, here we go.
Now a second down throw for Mayfield. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. And here now the defensive starters for Atlanta.
Versatile players on defense are all the rage in the NFL, but it also helps to have a Benardrick McKinney who does one thing very, very well, and that's tackle ball carriers. Big man, big size inside, looks like a defensive end playing inside linebacker, still has the ability to run and cut runners off before they can get downfield.
All right, here we go. Boom, landed.
On third down, Mayfield. That's caught by the former Sooner, Mark Andrews. And he takes it down deep into Atlanta territory. A big third down play there for the Bengals. 44 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that and have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory. All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
His first catch there, good for 10 yards and a first down. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when...
And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. Deshaun Hamilton with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Bengals are going to take a first quarter lead. So that's the rookie's first trip to the end zone, and I think it's safe to say one he'll always remember.
Oh, without a doubt. That one is going to be imprinted forever. And nowadays, we're seeing rookies make a greater impact at that position at receiver than ever before. I think mainly because of the sheer volume of footballs that they catch in college.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. From the gun, it's Ryan. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down. And the Bengals starting defensive unit now.
Coming off the edge is Derek Barnett, who had 5 sacks as a rookie and made the all-rookie team. And so much for measurables at the Combine, because Derek Barnett's Combine was not the greatest in the world, but he knows how to get to the quarterback, and that's way more important than what a stopwatch will tell you.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now the first carry here for Frank Gore. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Throwing the comeback route. He's got the hook up to Thomas. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
On second down, Cook. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
Mayfield from the gun on third down. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at the 33-yard line. They'll run it here. This is James White. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Offense.
That's going to set them back 5 yards. And that false start penalty is certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Encroachment. Defense.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Brian Robinson in on the tackle.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. If they want to try that again, go play action and hit them over the top.
And he will have a man, Demaryius Thomas. A pickup of 11, and it moves the chains.
And the key number on that play, 3. Third play of the drive, 3rd down, spectacular catch, turns into a 1st down.
1st down saves him from a 3-and-out. Eddie Jackson with a tackle.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Drops it underneath the goal. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
So 2nd and inches after that 1st down completion went just shy of the marker. Now White. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this 1st quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent game.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. Look at a nice little drive brewing right here.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
This is Jones, able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
Now it's Ryan. And the third down pass falls incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
Let's go. 3-19.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. There are the numbers for Cook from a week ago. He was able to topple the 200-yard mark and a rushing touchdown for good measure.
And what I found surprising, all those yards he accumulated, only found the end zone one
just
time.
once.
That doesn't even seem fair, does it?
But still, the 200-yard mark, something he can always carry in his back pocket. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. Second down and long.
Let's go. 3-19.
Throwing, Mayfield. Being chased out left. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a third down situation.
Here we go.
From the gun, Mayfield.
3-19.
Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. Give him 7 on the play. They are, however, faced here now. Johnny Townsend on for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken at about the 14. We'll call that a 49-yard punt, but a net of just 39 following the 10-yard return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Now Ryan. And a quick throw here, that's complete. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
They'll run with White. Not much there, maybe a couple up to the 35.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. On third down, it's White. A gain of 8 and a first down.
Well, that was big right there because they're in the bottom 5 in the league in converting on third down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, third down conversions. So they got one there. And 3 yards there takes them to the 45.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And his throw here's incomplete. Demaryius Thomas, the intended receiver, and it's third down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. On third down, Ryan. And that is incomplete.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. Third downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going. But we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now.
Here we go. 3-19.
They run with a rookie from Virginia State, Trenton Cannon. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. It's a 7-yard pickup. They'll be looking now to 3rd and 6.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape.
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Well, a free safety blitz, that can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
Demaryius Thomas gets set to go again on offense. You would have to think they're going to make it more of a priority to get him the football. You're losing here in the second quarter, and he's been really quiet.
I think all we have to do, and it's too bad we can't actually see the actual play sheet now from the coordinator, because he's looking down at that and saying, okay, do I put him in different spots? Do I try and isolate him? What routes do I run? You're exactly right. They've got to get the ball in his hands and get their offense kick-started.
He does have the 2 catches, but pretty quiet so far. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Not the result they were looking for there on 3rd down. They end up taking a loss on the play. The only person happy now, the punter, gets to go out there and show Mom that he gets to play in the game.
Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. Meanwhile, on the NFL scoreboard, a game going on in Chicago. And it's the Bears who are off to the early lead. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
I'd say the staff that's up in the booth watching the game, they may want to foul that one away. See how fast the free safety closed to make that play? Might want to check into a throw the next time.
And he finds a man on a crossing route. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Set. Green, 39.
1st down, Mayfield. Open man is Samuel, complete. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now, the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it, we can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
Here we go now. 3-19.
Play fake, Mayfield. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down.
And that's exactly why the Ravens drafted him, added him to their stable after drafting Hayden Hurst in the first round, a second tight end who can catch the football. He looks like a guy who's going to line up on the line of scrimmage and mash you in the running game as a blocker. But his best attributes, splitting out, catching the football almost as an extra wide receiver.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. Well, I see what they were trying to do there. You pop up your holder, roll him out. You got the option to run or pass. This didn't work.
Not at all. The communication was excellent defensively to make sure that receivers were covered as they escaped from the line of scrimmage, because that's supposed to be a surprise to everyone, and that's how they get free. People forget their assignments on defense. That didn't happen. And think about the guy rolling out with the football, looking for an open person, no one there.
Helpless feeling.
Helpless, because that gap between you and defenders now is going to close and close quickly.
From the gun on 3rd down, Ryan. He hits right, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. It's caught on the left side by Curse. And he'll get it down here to the 43. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Walker with a grab, left side. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. His first catch, good for 8 and a 1st down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and put the down marker back to run.
Full left side complete. It's Walker. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15. 23 yards on the play. We'll remind you once again, coming up at halftime, we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He's got stats and scores from around the NFL as we wrap up the first month of the season.
No longer is he a rookie, the coach, a true veteran now.
A crafty veteran. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down in the backfield.
He may be a bit undersized compared to the modern-day NFL defensive tackle, but what he lacks in size, he definitely makes up for it in his ability to make tackles in the run game as well.
And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. And he's able to get more than half of what they needed. That brings up a 3rd and 5.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball, because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Now Gore. And he won't have the touchdown, but he will have the 1st down as he's tackled at the 2. It's a gain of 6 as they're able to convert, and now it's 1st and goal.
I can't say that I was really in love with the play call there. A draw in that situation, I know it's a risk-reward call. If it works, he walks in.
And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Jonnu Smith, his first touchdown on the year. And the Falcons are in for 6.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody. Those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. Defense just has to hate those guys.
This drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Mayfield now looking to throw on 1st down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Green 39.
Mayfield now on 2nd down. Over the middle, he's got Deshaun Hamilton. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. On 1st and 10, Mayfield. And a diving grab. I think he got that, yes. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. Mayfield now from the 50. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Andrews. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A very solid gain of 27.
Here we go. 319. 319.
A first down throw from Mayfield. Throw left side. It's reeled in by Hamilton. Now the Bengals going to signal for their third and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number one.
Green 39. Green 39.
Mayfield with it once more. This will be caught just inside the 10. And a stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 7 catches for him now, and this last one, a first down. So we are at halftime here in Atlanta. There you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Coming back out to take the field, Mark Andrews and company. And some of his...
All right, here we go. Boom, landed.
Now a play fake here on first down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. K1 short. With a great push up front, he picks up the sack and a loss of 8.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle and frightening partner. It's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play-action fake.
And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Gotta credit them on that one because they tried to fool him, right? Tried to trick him. Ran a screen, and they went to and smothered it for a loss of yardage. They dialed up the screen pass on third down, and for a second, it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a first down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
51 yards on the punt there. Here comes the Falcons offense. It's their first possession of the second half now. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they look to add to that lead.
And how about the boost the defense gave them?
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 15. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 from Bengals TD. Short throw, pick 6 right there. Those linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take it in the opposite direction.
Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead is now 14-10. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their own 26. They'll start the drive with a give to White. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Malik Jefferson in there on the stop.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Now Ryan on second down. And Walker with it over the middle. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
That was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up third down.
He's Gaxonu. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on third down.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence, or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
They're going deep in the... Now White lost the football, and the Bengals grab it, and they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet there are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they're able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
And that's incomplete. Well, not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership.
How about the timing on that one? Well, they were in sync, weren't they? Three-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. A good run as he works his way for 9 that time, and it'll leave him with a third and just a few inches.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
And just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive. That right there, a good sign for a team that's had trouble converting third down so far this year. They're in the bottom 5 in the NFL, but they come through there.
Yeah, and I bet if we put our guy Marvin on the case and say, Marvin, tell us where they rank on third and what, right? I bet they're in the top 5 in the league on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 or more, because that's how you end up not converting. Just too much yardage to pick up on third down.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. The Falcons on third down. They've converted 6 times and could use a 7th here. This will be 3rd and 5. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
Everything looked right on that play except the conclusion. He dropped it, an in route, going into a little bit of traffic. Maybe in the back of his mind, he was wondering where the hit was going to come from.
And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals getting set to go. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
Holding offense.
So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
No gain on the play there, 2nd down. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big. And he'll be taken down at the 18. He digs them partway out of the hole that they're in. It's an 8-yard gain, and it makes it 3rd and 12.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, put a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop it. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the play, and that's going to bring up the 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Ryan and the Falcons now come up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They'll try and start the drive here with Gore. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
On 2nd down, here's Ryan. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. And that one goes incomplete. They tried something out of the bag of tricks, but it's incomplete and now 2nd down. Now a carry for White. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
The timing and the faking on that play was so good, you almost think you're at a magical act, right? The magician has shown you something, and then you realize it's not really there. He's created an illusion, and the illusion was they were going to throw the football. Looked like a pass play. Instead, it turned into a draw. Offensive lineman able to get out in front. They drew the defensive line upfield and beat them at their own game, and that's why they picked up big yardage in the secondary.
Now on 2nd down, this is Gore. Sharp move, but can't find much space. Dropped just inside the 20. Tackle there by Alex Anzalone.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. Here's Ryan. And they're going to get to him, a sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. Larry Ogunjobi able to drop him for a loss of a couple.
2nd goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
It's complete. Swings it out to his running back. They're able to hold him to 3 there, and that leads to a 4th and goal. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills.
Likely the play of the game here, trailing in the final quarter and going for it on 4th and goal. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. Now he's got it. And unable to break away, they stop him a few yards shy. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And the Bengals are going to get the football back.
Everyone gears up for 3rd down, talks about the importance of it. But 4th down, that's truly the moment of truth play, isn't it?
Everything's dialed up a little bit more. And, you know, it's such a momentum play, isn't it?
Absolutely, because it can flip either way depending on who converts on 4th down.
They needed some breathing room. He gave it to him. 11 yards and a 1st down.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football. But they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. Yeah, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bathema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Mayfield, now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And he'll be tackled at about the 35. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. So the solid run on first, and I would imagine no real hurry to run that 2nd down play.
No, it's all on your quarterback now. He's going to keep an eye on the play clock and bleed things down, and he's not going to let the ball be snapped until it's inside 3 seconds left on the play clock. Unless, of course, you're playing a video game, you're trying to run it up on your friend.
Nice touch. Cold-blooded, too. Mayfield on first down. Wide open receiver complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. This quarterback now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Mayfield now. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Good gain there on first down. That keeps them in a running situation, probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him. Ends up picking up Mike.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Julius Peppers in there to drop it for a loss on the play. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
So if I'm an offensive coordinator, there's one thing that I know for sure. This is one of the top 5 teams in the NFL against the run. So when I look at my playlist, I'm probably thinking about throwing it.
He'll get it up the middle. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Jonathan Williams, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bengals add on to their lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Elliott now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it. And they'll take it out to the 25. Ryan will bring the Falcons up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. From the gun, it's Ryan. And a dump off to White. No gain on the play there. It'll be 2nd down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. On 2nd down, Ryan. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
Thomas has got it. Complete. A good cover defensively as they get to him just beyond the 45 after the juke. A gain of 6 there on first. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Again, Ryan. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. They'll throw on first down with Ryan. And complete to the tight end Walker, right side. And that play will go nowhere, losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way, lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
Ryan goes underneath here to White. And he's brought down. 11 more on that one and another first down. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
Brandon, one thing about blitzes, they really confuse offensive linemen at times, and what you have to do is lock in on the guy right in front of you. If you don't, you saw the end result. Defensive tackle ended up making the play.
False start, offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. Second down and long. Here's White, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
Third and long. It's Ryan. And he's got his man on the out route. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. Time for a break. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And that'll make this an 8-point game. So you knew one way or another that they needed the 2 scores. They get the easy one out of the way. Now they'll get the ball back, hopefully.
Yeah, and the question is, how do you accomplish that? Do you onside kick it? Or since you have all 3 timeouts, do you kick it deep? To me, I'm playing field position. With all 3 timeouts, I kick it deep and try and pin them back there.
Now let's go. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left.
Set. Green 39. Green 39.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And the Falcons going to use another timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
Here we go now. 3-19.
Well, the lead late in the 4th, but Mayfield's going to throw it. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. As they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Here we go now. Green 39.
Down Mayfield. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
12 yards on the return that time. And here now come the Falcons. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late-game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. It's grabbed over the middle by White. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. He'll look to throw. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up. They executed well there.
And it's often hard after you played really well early and then you kind of relax a little bit to step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Well, how about keeping your head about you in this situation? No more timeouts. Finds a way to get out of bounds. Now they can breathe a little bit as they contemplate what to do on the next down.
And he'll go out of bounds down inside the 15-yard line. And a nice gain of 21 yards. And he did exactly what they needed him to do, Charles. Got out of bounds. They have no timeouts.
And they knew that before the play even began. Still executed it. How many times have we seen it happen where you know it, yet a guy still looking for a timeout or trying to stay in bounds? He got it done.
And a broken tackle could not free him. Taken down right at the 10-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. Now flags come flying in. One of the Falcons moved early.
False start, offense.
So that one will be accepted. A false start penalty, and now they're back to needing 10 yards on second down. Back to throw. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. A solid pickup at 13 sets him up first and goal. Stops it with a spike at 8 seconds. And unable to connect. It's incomplete. And the clock stopped at 8 seconds. Now flags come flying in. One of the Falcons moved early.
False start, offense.
They get the tackle, Marcus Gilbert, second-round pick back in 2011 out of Florida. Things made a little more difficult after the false start as they try again on second and goal. Back to throw. His pass caught at the 4. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, third and goal. Well, no doubt an electrifying finish to have it down inside the 10-yard line. That final shot, though, they couldn't get it in the end zone, and that's all she wrote.
And they had the final shot. The last snap taken that close to the end zone. They don't get it in, so they'll regret that, but flip it over. Making a stand in that portion of the field, congratulations to them.
So for the Bengals, it'll be a .500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they'll return home next week to take on the Miami Dolphins. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, they'll sink now to 0-4. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Heinz Field to take on the Steelers. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.